Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to the lesson 4. Today we are going to see an important topic about the bees and the plants and the pollen and how these plants and insects run together, this process, and how important are each others. So we are going to start, and the topic is a good relationship. Yeah, a good relationship. Why do insects and flowering plants need each other? Is the first question. But before to start, and I'm not going to read too much. Before to start, I want to explain the how important and the objective of the class is that we are going to understand about the bees, the flowers, and the transportation of this pollen in the process, and that we have other bird that is important. The name is in Spanish colibri. It's very famous in Honduras, that make and run the same process of the bees transporting the pollen. This is so important because the pollen and the transportation create other flowers from the road when the bee or the birds transport or moves right around. So on a sunny afternoon, right, you're picking some flowers from the garden, right? You hear a loud buzzing zzz sound and realize that one of the flowers you just picked has a bee inside, like this picture, right? Well, I'm going to show you some pictures about this, uh, but I'm going to finish to read this paragraph. What was the bee doing there? Obviously, we know, right? It was gathering pollen, powdery material produced by the male reproductive parts of the flower called the anthers. During the visit, the bee performed a very important service for the flower. So it's really important the process. And this was not the purpose of the bee's visit. It was only to collect food. Honeybees have fuzzy bodies. Through and pollen sticks to the tiny hairs. When the bee flies to another flower, some of the pollen falls off and stick to a flower female reproductive part. The name is the stigma, and now the flower is able to produce seeds that can grow into a new plant. Chicos, these two paragraphs explain what explain the process and the role of the bee. The bee feed from the pollen of the honeybee, take the pollen through the nest where it's going to be the honey. In the process, when the bee transport, ahí donde la abejita se mueve, in this process, the pollen fall down, and produce seeds. And what we have with the seeds? More flowers. It's amazing, right? It's awesome. Two objectives in one process. The, the bees survive and feed from food, and the flowers reproduce. It's awesome, right? This kind of relationship is called mutualisms. Mutualisms, both the bee and the flowers benefits from it. The bee is feed and the pollinates a flower in a process. That is the same that I said, right? The flower gives out some of its pollen to the bees, but without the bee, the flower wouldn't be able to reproduce. Look at that picture, right? This is not a bee. The name is uh, I have the name. It's colibri, but in English it's like I have the name. Give me a time. I'm going to give you in the next slide. Um, so look, this is the colibri, right? It's very famous in Honduras, and in Honduras we have one special colibri that is endemic. Only we can find it in Honduras, no in the rest of the planet, right? So this is the when the bee pollinates and take the pollen from the flowers, different kind of flowers, different size of flowers, different colors, and this bee is like Mr. Marvin, right? Really fat. Miren, this is the process of the pollination or pollinate, taking the flower. Ahora, the humans can make the same process with special tools. Yeah, they can do it. Why? Because the humans need to produce honeybee for commercial purposes. Lo que venden miel, ¿verdad? They make the process with special tools and make like artificial honeybees, right? Obviously, they need bees, right? They need bees, but they did this because they want to take more pollen and make more and more honeybees because they produce and they get money selling this, right? It's a marketing, right? Commercial purposes. So humans can do the process of pollination. Yeah. Look at the picture. This is a picture that is telling you, showing you the process of the honeybee. Look, in the morning, right? Taking the pollen from the flowers. It's awesome. Yeah, it is, right? So bees. Okay, here's the name. Hummingbird. Hummingbird. Colibri. Hummingbird. Bees are one of the most common and important pollinators for many flowery plants. Only one kind of pollinator can perform the job. Without bees, humans' being food supply will be seriously affected. Hundreds of the type of fruits and veggies, or vegetables, we can say veggies, will become rare and might even disappear. Oh my god, super difficult. Other pollinators in the natural world are moth, butterflies, wasps, and some types of flies, and beetles. Even birds and boats can be pollinators. The human bird has an interesting relationship with the flowering plants called the fuchsia. Fuchsia. Scientists believe that this hummingbird and the fuchsia co-evolved or work together or evolve together, adapting to one another. So it's important to see that we have different insects producing this process. Amazing, right? Bees are one of the most common important pollinators, right? This is the conclusion of the reading and the story of today. The hummingbird has a long, skinny beak, right? And that is perfect for sucking the nectar, right? Sucking the nectar from flowers. The tiny bird does not have a good sense of smell, but it is attracted to the color red. The fuchsia flower is long and tube-like. It doesn't have another, but it's come in different shades of red. There is not really any place to land in fuchsias, but this does not matter to hummingbirds. Their wings beat very quickly and allow them to hover in the air. So, in conclusion, the hummingbird or colibri stay flying because has something special, can fly in the same site, and is sucking the nectar from the flowers. And make pollination too. It's a good pollinator. So, the classwork in conclusion of the questions. Super easy, okay? Use the words in the box to complete the sentence below. Stigma, adapt, depend, and pollen. Number 1, honeybees collect on their bodies when they feed from flowers. Super easy, right? It is the job of pollinators to transfer tiny grains of pollen to our flowers. Super easy. Flowering plants on insects and animals to help them reproduce themselves. Some plants and insects to one another over time. Super easy. These questions, the second page, this is super. You're not going to do it. You're not going to do it. It's not necessary. The thing is that you have to understand the process. You know it. I know that you know it. But more than understand, you can make observation in the garden of your house in the morning, especially. You can see bees around. Don't kill the bees because the bees are making something nice for the nature, right? And maybe you have a honeybee in your house. Por ahí han de tener algún panal en su casa. Así que no lo, bueno, si es muy grande, sí hay que destruirlo, pero tampoco es bueno matar los insectos porque hacen un proceso importante. So, this is the conclusion of the class. See you in the next class. Love you. See you in meet. Only this you're going to do super easy, right? Bye.